This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
All right, great friends. What's happening? We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man on a Monday where San Diego sports fans are celebrating. And why not? I mean, listen, in 2020, when the Padres made it to the postseason, that was exciting, but nobody was in the stands. So it didn't have this sort of a feel. And for a city that has been as downtrodden as San Diego has been from a sports perspective, you know, I kind of mention all the time, rip those Chargers right out of our town, send them up to LA. And most of us, you know, are now Charger haters. That's why I was pulling for the Browns so hard yesterday. But to have the Padres now have a $230 million payroll, to have the Padres, which we were always brainwashed, the Padres will never compete with the Dodgers because they'll never have the payroll, because they'll never be able to make the kind of money in local TV rights. That was all a lie. Okay. This ownership group has proven that to be one giant lie. And this ownership group has put their money where their mouth is. And you've got a roster now. We were talking about this on Friday of last week. This isn't Chris Paddock and Zach Davies and a bullpen day starting. I mean, this is legit top level kinds of starters. And the performance out of Musgrove last night was, I mean, $100 million type of performance, $20 million a year kind of performance. So Grande, Brown Man, as we pull into segment 2, I mentioned that it seems like everybody wanted to make a t-shirt. So we got some new merch that we're ready to put out today based on the performance of Joe Musgrove. Should we start there? What do you think?
Sure.
All right, here it is. The new Joe Musgrove t-shirts available now on Kaplan and Crew in our merch shop. So we had the pay that man t-shirt during the season when we were all pushing for Musgrove to get himself a new contract. Now take a look at this right here. Just the name Musgrove on your t-shirt. And instead of the O at the end, you got that ear. Oh, that's very funny. That is very funny. What do you think, Brown? Is that something you would now rock? I mean, now will you rock a Musgrove t-shirt?
You know what? I need one more performance. Give me one more, Joe. Give me one more, Joe, and I'll rock any ear gear you got.
Ear gear.
I'm rocking all the ear gear. You give me one more of those.
Okay. All right. Alex, are we back to full price on our partner's website? Because I know last week we had that 15% off sale.
Oh, yeah, we're back to normal.
Okay. And how much is that Musgrove t-shirt?
Basic is 22. The better fitted one is 24.
Okay. All right. Very good. Listen, the gear is there. That's all I'll say to you right now. The gear is there. The Musgrove t-shirt with the ear rather than the O. You like that one, Alex?
Yeah. I always think it's silly, but I like it.
Yeah.
Like it a lot.
I love dropping merch.
I mean, his ears were super shiny. I mean,
yeah. I saw my friend Dave Sims, who is the play-by-play voice of the Seattle Mariners. He, when the Mariners made it into the postseason, he had this call. He was like, hey now. Like he went crazy on the air. And now they're producing t-shirts up there. Dave is. He's got his own t-shirt thing going with that 3 hey nows. So I think dropping merch is so fun. I love it, man. And people were sending me t-shirts last night because I think John Boy Media, you know, the one that Chris Rose works for. We should have Chris Rose on this week.
Yeah.
We should have Chris on this week. We should have Casey Stern on this week.
I can't believe how fun baseball was in general. Like you're talking about the Mariners coming back from 8-1.
That was crazy.
And they win. The Guardians beating the Rays in 15 innings on a walk-off home run. The Phillies coming back. They were down 2-0 in the first game. In the 9th inning, they came back. They win that game all crazy. And then they just shut out the Cardinals in the second game. Some fun baseball, man. I mean, Friday was probably the most fun I've ever had watching a baseball game ever. Like, not even close. I was out and the town was just popping. Saturday, probably the least fun I've had watching baseball for at least that 45-minute inning killed me. Like, it just sucked the air out of the place I was in. And then yesterday, I told my friends, I was like, I don't think I will go to game 3 because I'm nervous as hell sitting on this couch. I can't imagine being in the stadium for something like this. And they were up 6-0, you know, and I was that nervous about it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just a scarred San Diego fan. I was like, okay, at what point is this going to collapse? In the back of
Yeah.
my head, that was still there.
I know even at 6-0, people were texting me like, we did. I'm like, no, bro, hold on a second here. Don't get crazy yet. You know, like let's just get it over with before we're ready to count it as a win.
I felt overwhelming insurance. Even when they brought in Suarez, I was like, you know what? The momentum's too much. The tidal wave is hit. They washed ashore. It's a shipwreck. We just got to get the last 6 outs.
Well, I think you're right, Browner. I think if you were a Mets player and you saw what Buck Showalter did, I think you looked at that and went, we all understand the desperate situation we're in right now. It's so bad that our manager has resorted to disrespecting the opponent this way and hoping at best he finds something. So let's jump right into that. First of all, let's start with Musgrove.
Oh.
Well, wait a second. What do you? Okay, here's the video. Alex is showing us the video. This is fine. Look at what's going on here. Look at how everybody is standing.
Manny's face through the whole thing was great.
Manny was cracking me up because Manny was looking over at the Mets like, are you guys for real, dude? And checking Musgrove's ears. We're watching it. For those of you listening on radio, you're not seeing it, but how embarrassing is that if you're the umpire? Like, oh yeah, I got to touch your ears, dude. And I know they are pretty shiny and red.
They were weirdly shiny, yes.
But look at Manny. Look at Manny. Look at him just smiling and laughing at those guys.
That's his old manager too. So.
Yeah.
I thought the way they preceded it. So here's the thing. Musgrove wasn't touching his ears the entire time. Like they kept showing him, and every time he caught the ball, adjusted his hat, pitched. He never once was going to his ears. That would be the most obvious thing in the world. If you have the shiniest ears in America, and all of a sudden you're going like this, like every time before you pitch the ball. So he never did that. And then every time the inning was over, they showed the umpires checking his glove, checking his hands, and they moved on. I thought it was an embarrassment that this umpiring crew made such an ordeal about it. And I don't know the actual procedures of it. Obviously, we haven't seen this all year right in the beginning of an inning. It's like, so the umpires, they have to understand the situation that they're in. And for them to make it such an ordeal to bring all, 7 umpires in together, they all go to the mound. They don't even tell Melvin what's going on. Melvin has to come out on his own. And then it's just like an ordeal. I thought it was a complete embarrassment for Major League Baseball that they let this happen in such a large stage. But I will say, being on the receiving end of the good stuff, which is nothing happening, he's not cheating. It kind of it brought a lot of joy to me. Is almost because then he stuck it to him, you know.
Right.
He still went out, and he still was dominant that inning and the next inning.
Yeah, and I don't know, people were putting on Twitter and including some former players that that they were saying that it's like common practice to take like some kind of a hot sauce or some sort of a pepper or something and put it on your ears to like keep you awake and alert. I'm like, what are you guys? What are you guys talking about?
And they put it on the broadcast too, like it was a fact. Like ESPN. Listen, I won't go off on ESPN, but I will say Andrew McCutcheon tweeted that. Andrew McCutcheon said, and I'll pull it up right now, that he's like, for a fact, he's got red hot on his ears, and it's something that pitchers use to stay locked in. But I don't know. And I was like, dude, why is ESPN putting this on the broadcast like it's fact? They put they put the tweet up on the screen, and it's just like they didn't find anything. They touched his ears, both ears. Like, let's move on. And I just thought ESPN.
You know what the umpire should have done? He should have touched his ears and then put his fingers in his mouth. Like, hey, yo, you got some red hot on your ears? Yo, let me check it out.
You got any chicken wings?
Gross.
I thought that go ahead.
Here's McCutcheon. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Alex.
He tweeted this right after. He says, here we go. I guarantee Musgrove has red hot on his ears. Pitchers use it as a mechanism to stay locked in during games. It burns like crazy, and I don't know why some guys think it helps them, but in no way is it, quote, sticky. Buck is smart, though. Could be trying just to throw him off. I think that was what he was trying to do. Anything.
That's what he was trying to do.
I think that the idea that ESPN would publicize any of this was just another indication of they thought the Padres didn't have any chance. The ESPN broadcast. They spoke as if until it was almost assured the Padres won, that the Mets should have won. Like the entire production seemed more New York based. And I found it to just be unprofessional.
But that's what it is, dude. It's we always hear about what is called the East Coast bias. Make no mistake. These guys are all based in Connecticut or New York. They all want the big city. They believe me, they wanted the Mets and the Dodgers because they think that Mets Dodgers is big money TV ratings wise. And by the way, they don't even have the games. Like Fox has the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like ESPN had anything to gain or to lose, but they're all East
ESPN
Coast
will
guys.
now ignore Major League Baseball. They are all in on football for the rest of the year, like because they don't have games anymore.
Yeah. Well, let's keep going here on this Musgrove story. So first we looked at the video of all the umpires coming out and all the Padre players standing around and Manny Machado kind of jawing over at Buck Showalter. Let's listen to Showalter after the game. This is what I was waiting for. By the way, I watched this entire game, not the entire game, but most of the game on a flight last night. And usually I'm too cheap to buy the
internet,
to buy the Wi-Fi, because when I go on a plane, they have the free.
What flight?
What do you mean? What flight?
What company? What airline?
Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not the crap you and I flew recently. The Spirit. Alaska's good. Alaska's good. So Alaska, I usually just get the free messaging, because I'll text people during the flight. This time I was like, oh, for $9, I can get all the streaming and the video and everything else. So I watched this whole game on my phone on the plane. I couldn't wait for the post-game press conferences. I was like, I can't wait to hear what's going to be said. But the flight landed and I got back to town at like 8:30 last night. Then I ate like such a fat pig. I went to my favorite taco shop and just ate like such an animal at like 9:30 last night. And then I watched House of the Dragon, if anybody cared about what I ate or what I watched.
House of the Dragon.
Well, Alex, you watch House of the Dragon this week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody here watch The Redeem Team yet on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
No, I got no interest in that.
Unbelievable. The Redeem Team. Loved it. Watch that this weekend. I watched so much this weekend.
I will say that you would always give me and Browners grief. You're like, how do you guys find the time to watch all this stuff?
Well,
and now
look at this guy.
Now that you're three kids, now that you have one kid in the house, you're like watching everything. Dog.
But hold on a second. Before we get back to this Padre stuff, hold on. Remember, I was in Boise, Idaho this weekend visiting my daughter, Jillian, who goes to school there. Mm-hmm. My daughter, Jaden, came from New Orleans, and my daughter, Julia, was with me. Well, on Saturday night, we went to all the frat parties and all the pregame festivities before the Fresno State-Boise State game. I had no interest in going to the game. Zero, none. My two daughters, they were like, all right, Dad, we're tired. We need to go home. We need to get some food. My daughter, Jillian, she's like, I'm partying. I'm going to the game. So she did. Me and my two other daughters went back to her place. We got pizza. We sat down on the couch. They both fell asleep. Dude, I watched USC beat Washington State. I watched Boise State a little bit against Fresno State. Saw San Diego State win. Watched the Redeem Team documentary, an hour and 40 minutes. And I watched the Padres. I mean, I saw so much on Saturday night. I watched so much on Saturday night. If I was home, I would never have watched all that because my girlfriend would have been dragging me bar to bar to bar. So it was actually amazing for me. And I got to admit this. On the flight up there, I started watching Better Call Saul. I've never seen that series. I'm like 5 episodes in. Watched a lot of stuff this weekend.
Look at you, man.
I know. Lots.
TV whore.
All right. I know. That's me. TV ho.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Let's go to Buck Showalter. Let's hear what he said in the post-game interviews. Let's hear this.
That, we certainly weren't having much luck the way it was going, that's for sure. But, I'm charged with doing what's best for the New York Mets. And if it makes, however it might make me look or whatever, I'm going to do that every time and live with the consequences. I'm not here to not hurt somebody's feelings, I'm going to do what's best for our players in the New York Mets, and I felt like that was best for us right now. There's some pretty obvious reasons why it was necessary.
I can buy that. My job is to be the manager of the Mets. My job is to look out for the Mets, and we were getting our asses handed to us. So since nobody could hit, I just thought, let's see if I can mess with this guy's head.
So now, you could argue, agreed, Buck, sure. But was it the best thing for your team at that time? That's where you. That's
the
debate.
question.
Right.
That's the question.
No, the answer is no.
Well, it turns out no, because then he still, actually he did give up a hit eventually, and then he did walk somebody. But at that point, we all know Musgrove in the third time around the lineup. That's kind of where he begins to struggle. So I don't think it was more of a Buck thing. I just think that Joe, the third time you see a guy, it's the third time you see a guy. But if you're a Mets player, how do you look at that and take confidence from it? You look
Right,
at
like
that, you're
once they didn't find anything, you're like,
Right.
okay, so he's just legitimately mowing us
he's
down.
just
There's nothing we can
kicking
do
our
about it.
ass, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like, like not only did he come out and do a 1-2-3 inning right after that, like he only gave up one hit all game against them.
Right.
Like, it was probably more demoralizing than anything.
But I would say to the defense's credit, Trent Grisham made a couple of really good plays. Will Myers made about 3 or 4 really good plays to back him up. And when you actually do make solid contact, unlike the single that Mr. Strongman had, and Trent Grisham's flying around catching balls, Soto's getting his balance and catching balls, Will Myers is making plays, Kim's making plays, Manny's making plays. When you get that, it is demoralizing because you're like, even when we hit this guy, and even when we get luck where the ball hits the base pad and flies in the air, like we still got out. So it's demoralizing. And for him to even do that, just put the stamp on it. Like, all right, we spanked. Let's go home.
Right. Like on one hand, you understand what he's saying. Like, my job is to protect my guys. My job is to try and, find a way to win the game. So my goal was to mess with his head because that's what I thought was the best thing to do at the time because we sucked so bad. But it didn't work out. And it probably made it worse rather than making it better. All right. Hey, listen, before we get to some of the Musgrove post game, let me just make a quick mention of our friends at the San Diego Open. I realize that everybody's going to be focusing in on the Padres, and understandably so. Padres Dodgers is the biggest thing going. Now in LA, they will all tell you, we don't really care. Padres are not really a rival to us, and we're not making as big a deal of it as you guys are. And I would say that that's probably accurate, that people in San Diego want the Dodgers a whole lot more than the Dodger fans care about the Padres. But if you're a sports fan this week and you're looking to enjoy local sports, and obviously the games in the early part of the week will be up in LA, I just want to tell you guys that at the San Diego Open today, Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula, they're both playing double. So we talked last week about 16 of the top 20 players in the world are going to be playing at the San Diego Open. It starts now. They had the qualifying this weekend, but the big stars, the big names, they start today. By the way, tomorrow is Military Appreciation Day. All military and their families get 20% off their tickets, 25% off their tickets if they use the promo code VA Home Loans 25. VA Home Loans 25. I almost read that as the Home Loans 25. VA Home Loans 25. And there'll be a bunch of special military stuff happening. I say stuff like ceremonies before the matches tomorrow. So military families, 25% off tomorrow. VA Home Loans 25 is your promo code. And a big day happening at the San Diego Open today. And still plenty of time to get out there because that Coco Gauff Pegula thing doesn't even start until about 4:30-ish, anywhere between 4:30 and 5 today. So plenty of time for you guys to get out there and enjoy. All right, listen, back to it. Let's hear what Musgrove said after the game. This is like right after the game on the field. Alex, you ready to play this for everybody?
I saw you gesture toward their dugout. How were you feeling during that time?
Yeah, I mean, it motivated me a little bit, man. It fired me up. I had been throwing the ball well all night, and they were doing everything they could to get me out of there. So, opportunity to stick it to them a little bit and stick it to the crowd. I took it, and then I had to get back to work.
He was asked about the hot sauce, too, or the red hot.
Mm-hmm.
And just quickly, your ear, I know there was a lot of discussion on it. Just to ask, Andrew McCutcheon went on Twitter and said that he thought it was hot sauce. I'm curious just to ask you straight up, was there anything that you put on there before the game, whether it was illicit substance or anything, or was it just an effect from the lights on TV?
No, I mean, maybe just an effect. I mean, we're sweating my ass off out there. So, yeah, I don't know what they saw or what it looked. I haven't seen any video or anything, but, they came out, checked me, didn't find anything, so.
Even if there was nothing going on, does part of you think that the reason they asked to be checked was to disrupt you?
I don't know if it was the timing or anything. Maybe they thought that would, rile me up and get me a little bit outside of my game. But I'm aware of that stuff. I think about every possible situation I could be in the night before a start. I go through, from the start of walking out of the dugout to the bullpen to warm up, what that's going to sound like, what's going to feel like if I get runners on early in the game, what's the energy going to be like, what's my mind going to be thinking, where am I going to want to go, and I try to combat those things the night before I start so that when I get out there, whatever happens is something that I've been through before and I know how to manage it. So anything like that, that's not something that I visualized was them coming out and checking me, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm ready for any situation that goes on.
I
I'll say something too about this dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a dude that was on the cheating Astros. You know, he wasn't a star. He wasn't starting games. He didn't even have a good postseason when you look at the numbers. This is a dude that last week said, I don't wear that ring. I don't like to show it off like it's this legitimate thing. This dude's going to have like sticky stuff on his ears like that in the biggest game of his career. You're just going to have a clump of sticky stuff on his ears.
How about this?
Do you one better?
Go ahead.
I'll do you one better. How much incentive do you need to be focused? It didn't get much bigger than that for him in his career.
In his life. He's the San Diego guy.
Yes. Why do you need hot sauce on your ear to stay locked in that moment?
Yeah. Wait, I'll throw you one more. Who's Andrew McCutchen? If Clayton Kershaw said this, no, I know, but if Clayton Kershaw said this, if Justin Verlander said this, if a superstar pitcher said this, that's one thing. Who the hell's Andrew McCutchen?
He ain't throwing strikes. I'll give you that.
All right, stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We got a lot. We have just started to scratch the surface. Stick around, everybody. Padres and their win over the Mets are our lead story. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season is almost complete. Live on Your View and YourView.com, watch your San Diego Loyal take on Sacramento Republic FC, Saturday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Watch the final regular season game of the 2022 season as the San Diego Loyal prepare for the USL Championship playoffs. Sacramento Republic FC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
When your air conditioner needs to be tuned up, repaired, or replaced, call Bill Howe, the name you have trusted for over 40 years. We carry the most reliable, energy-efficient brands that will fit your budget. Whether you are looking for a traditional or ductless air conditioning system, you know who to call.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe, because we know how.
Do the ups and downs of the financial markets have you on a roller coaster? Don't let the market take you and your investments for a ride. Stabilize your funds with SDCCU's Great Rate Savings, Money Market, or Certificate accounts. Choose a savings option that meets your needs and watch your money grow with SDCCU. Earn 1.5% APY on a 12-month certificate or 2.5% APY on a 36-month certificate. Open an account at sdccu.com/now. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better.
Change the way you look and feel with San Diego's most comprehensive varicose and spider vein treatment facility. San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center offers minimally invasive, pain-free procedures performed by board-certified cardiologist Dr. Tahizadeh. With over 17 years of experience, we specialize in the diagnosis of varicose veins, spider veins on the face, hands, and legs, ankle discoloration, leg swelling, and more. Improve your vein health today. Visit consultation.sdveintreatment.com or call 619-582-2404.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And today's show has thus far been just like 95% Padres over the Mets, the Musgrove controversy, the Grisham performance, and we're going to get back into these big stories coming up in a matter of seconds. And by the way, an MLB Network host accusing Joe Musgrove of cheating. So we just played for you, and we'll play it again in a minute. We just played for you what Bob Melvin said about Joe Musgrove, and now someone pretty much coming out and straight up accusing him of cheating. We'll get to it here in a matter of seconds. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We're broadcasting on the airwaves of 1090. We're podcasting on YouTube. We're on every audio podcast platform that you would use. And tonight we'll be on television, Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara. And if you're in Orange County or LA, we are on Channel 118 if you are a Cox or Spectrum cable subscriber. All right, Alex, let's start off this segment with this. Trent Grisham, just go back to the performance that Grisham had this past weekend in New York against the Mets, hitting .500 and having 0 strikeouts. And all the numbers in between, and then we'll listen to what Bob Melvin had to say about Grisham's performance. Go ahead and show us the numbers. There we have it. 4 hits.
Yeah, he hit, yep.
2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, 0 strikeouts. I mean, what a performance. How do you think Bob Melvin decided that he was going to even play Trent Grisham?
Three righty pitchers and a large outfield, and you don't trust Will Myers out there, and you would rather risk it with Grisham than Azekar, probably. I mean, I genuinely think Grisham may not play against the Dodgers because it's going to be lefty. It's going to be Kershaw, it's going to be Urias, it's going to be Anderson.
Can you sit down a hot bat?
I mean, I don't think you can, but I didn't think he would play him in the first place, and he did. So nothing would I don't know. I would have to listen. I'm going to get him ahead of myself. I'd have to go look at Grisham's lefty numbers. But I don't think he had any good numbers this year. So, I mean,
again,
the reason why Trent Grisham played is because they had righty Scherzer, righty DeGrom, and righty Bassett. Let's not get it twisted. If those were lefties out there, Grisham ain't playing on Friday.
Let me ask you a question.
Or do you guys disagree with that? If the Mets threw out a lefty on Friday, is Grisham in the lineup? Not a chance in hell.
I'm not arguing against anything you're saying. The question I'm asking you is, after what you saw him do, it doesn't matter who the pitcher is. You can't sit him. You can't. He was the best player for 3 days in a row.
Browner, after what you saw him do for a full season, you would say the same
about baseball.
Why would you be in the lineup?
What do we say about baseball? Ebbs and flows. He's flowing right now. He's flowing right now.
But Scott asked, like, what possessed Melvin to even put him in the lineup?
Right, because
before we can talk about the Dodger series, that's a tomorrow conversation.
Yeah. As a
Why
manager,
did Bob Melvin
though,
put him in?
You got to have a feel, and I don't think that Bob Melvin's like, you know what? I just have this feeling that Trent Grisham's going to hit 500 and come up huge for us. I don't think so. He had to have had his reasons. Alex, I'm sure that what you're saying is goes into it. Righty, big outfield. Hey, you know what? I'll take my chances. He's a good defensive player, or is traditionally a good defensive player. And even though he's not going to give us much with his bat, I'll take my chances. But this is why the Padres won this series, because Trent Grisham came up so huge. I'm not saying it's the only reason. I'm just saying it is a large part of why the Padres won this series. And here's what Bob Melvin said about Trent Grisham last night. Play.
You know, obviously we scored some runs. Trent Grisham was absolutely fantastic in series. You know, you really have to give him a lot of credit for going through a very difficult season, you know, getting benched for a little while, coming into the series and showing up looking like an all-star. You know, offensively, defensively, running the bases. It takes some mettle to fight through something like that and have the type of series that he did.
It's true. It does take metal. It does.
That's why look, you can't take a hot bet out your lineup, man. Bob Melvin has made too many smart decisions to now all of a sudden find himself in a place where he's not going to put Trent Grisham out there. Now, if he goes 0 for 4 and he looks like the guy who you saw during the regular season, then you dig back into the numbers and you go righty-lefty situations. Then you go to that. But let him prove to you he's turned back into the pumpkin. Because right now, Cinderella got them slippers on. And I ain't striking midnight.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Browner. I think Trent Grisham, at least if nothing else, has earned the right to start game one. And I hear what you're saying, Alex, that like if you're going to get all baseball numbery about it and you're going to go, well, wait a second, they're going to hit you lefty, lefty, lefty. And you know, the numbers suggest that he didn't have a good year, obviously, and he doesn't, hit well against lefties. But I think when you're hot and you're seeing things, I got to at least give the guy a chance.
Right. You got to just let him, whatever happens, happens. Because again, nobody saw him doing that.
Well, dude,
I looked in the lineup and I went, damn it, no.
Yeah. And listen, game one, again, we'll get there tomorrow, but game one, the Padres don't have one of their top 3 starting pitchers going in game one. So I'm not suggesting that the Padres are going to just lay down and die game one and just hand it off and go, hey, you guys win game one. But I'm just going to say that I would give Grisham his shot, particularly in game one.
I think
he has big time home runs against Clayton Kershaw. I remember
right. The opportunity that Mike Clevenger has at his doorstep right now. He has the makeup. He's got the I like to say the stuff. He got it. The bar is high now. You went from Darvish to Blake Snell walking everybody to Joe Musgrove doing that. Your turn. Keep the baton rolling. Keep it on the tracks if you're Mike Clevenger. Again, I think Blake Snell only gave up, 1 run?
2.
If I'm not mistaken. So they all held their water. Now, can you, Mike Clevenger, with the stuff that we know you have, show up and show out? I think he will. I absolutely think he will. I don't know if it'll be a one-hitter.
I'm not mentally ready for tomorrow yet. I'm still
me neither. And by the way, is it already announced that Kershaw starts game one?
I think they're going to go Kershaw. I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I haven't.
Nothing's
heard for
announced.
Sure.
I don't think.
I would think. Urias is your best pitcher. Does he not get to start that series, or is Kershaw? Hey,
isn't Anderson their best? Isn't Gonsolin?
Well, but Gonsolin is Gonsolin even back?
He's going to. I don't know.
Seriously, I've stopped paying attention to the Dodgers 3 weeks ago because it was so far and over that none of the games were meaningful. I just stopped watching.
And hopefully they 5 days off in baseball is an eternity. So,
all right, let's do this. In the post game, Juan Soto had his message for Padres fans. Pretty funny. So Juan Soto's partying. There's booze everywhere. He's got on his snowmobiling goggles. And here's what Juan Soto said to the Padre fans afterwards.
Hey, I see you in LA. San Diego fans, 2 hours away. Just go there, cheer for you, real team. The Padres. Let's go.
Let's go. The Padres. Let's go. What's funny is, I don't know if you guys have seen this
like
or
a
not.
person who just got here at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what's really funny? Have you guys seen that the Padres are, when it comes to buying postseason tickets, they'll only sell to fans in Santa Barbara or San Diego County. Wait, say it again. I'm sorry.
They're geocoding.
Right. So, look, I know a lot of Dodger fans think that that's sus, but wait a second. Didn't the Rams do the exact same thing during the NFC Championship game to try and keep the Niner fans out? Don't teams do this all the time?
Yeah.
This has become like total regular practice in sports.
It's acceptable. It's a one-up.
When you have a team that has a fan base that's going to take over your ballpark or your stadium, you try and shut them out. That's become sadly common practice. No?
Yeah, of course. You can't have a playoff game look like Cowboys Rams. You can't have that. That reflects poorly. I don't think the Dodgers will do that because they have a great fan base. The Dodgers do. So I know they're going to show out. The problem is when they come here, you can't buy a ticket nowhere outside of San Diego County, period. Well,
I know the Chargers tried to do this at one time when they were in San Diego. I know the Rams tried to do it last year for the NFC Championship game. It happens. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw the Rams game yesterday. Dude, not only are the Rams terrible, but that place was like 90% Cowboy fans. I had people sending me videos from inside the stadium. It's all Cowboy fans. All Cowboy fans. All right, stick around. Because here's the thing. There's now Alex is going to show us some video of Brian Kinney from MLB Network saying that Joe Musgrove cheated. And this happened earlier today. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, it's just coming out right now. I just got a second clip too. I haven't even heard it yet. So
okay.
Joking, right?
All right, great. Hold on. Before we do that, I just want to say to everybody, hey, listen, Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Realty Services, 858-376-1299, 858-376-1299. Here's why I'm mentioning this to you. Look, I know everything's happened in the market has changed things, especially in the housing market, right? Like when Alex was using Gary Cooper last year, every time he and Mar went to try and buy a condo, they put in, their application, they made their offer, and there were like 50 offers. And the prices went from here all the way up to here. And you couldn't get in. Now what's happening is prices are being, set at a much lower expectation. And yeah, there's competition, but the prices are going up, but not nearly the way they once were. And so even though interest rates have gone up, it's still a great time to buy because as Gary says, if we're in a recession or if we're going into a recession, rates will come back down eventually. So you get in now, you'll be able to refinance later. And look, I'm not the expert in this stuff. Gary is. Call him. 858-376-1299, 858-376-1299. Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Realty Services. Never make a move in real estate without first talking to Gary Cooper. All right, Alex, let's hear what is happening on the MLB Network earlier today that has Brian Kinney, the former ESPN Sports Center anchor, calling the Padres and Joe Musgrove a cheater. Let's hear this.
I'm hoping we can hear this one. It's a little low. So
all right.
Here he is talking about spin rate.
Using a sticky substance, a pitcher can greatly increase the revolutions of the baseball and thereby make it much more difficult to hit. And that is what was happening last night. Joe Musgrove's spin rate, take a look at this, way up from his regular season average. Last night and his regular season average. That's his season. That's what he did on Sunday. His fastball, his cutter, up over 100 RPMs. 102. The cutter 116, the sinker 105, but then the big moves. Changeup plus 174, curveball plus 170, the slider up 248 RPMs. That's not a normal jump. That's a huge jump. We just saw drops at about 100 when pitchers went from using the stuff to not using the stuff. And Musgrove's differences in spin are much, much bigger.
All right.
That's the first one. And then the second clip.
Kinney is making his claim that look, if you use sticky stuff and we look at the spin rates and the numbers when the sticky stuff was happening, and then you look at how the numbers come down post sticky stuff, but you look at Musgrove and his regular season, and then you look at these the numbers from last night, the only answer known to man, apparently, is that Joe Musgrove had to be cheating. Is that what?
Who's this guy again? Who's this guy?
He's an MLB Network host.
What does he do? He just hosts baseball? He ever play?
I don't believe so.
Because if you play, and I hate to go if you played card, if you played at a moment like that, some guys can raise their game another level. That's where you find greatness in athletes. They rise to the occasion to do things above what they normally do. That's how you get greatness. That's how the Michael Jordan flu game came to be. You rise above what you would normally do in that circumstance because of the moment you are in. Like, what are you? What? Kenny? Who is he? What's his first name?
I think his name is Brian Kinney. Brian
Kinney.
Brian.
Get off the dope, bruh. Get off the dope. Stop trying to get the New York media and the New York fans behind you to say somebody cheated, bruh. You ain't got no proof. You sound like a tweaker. You sad the match lost. Look at the spin rate. Locked in, bruh. Locked in.
My man Browner said locked in, bruh.
I haven't even played the clip where he just calls him a cheater, and you're already that mad.
Look, I mean, what else could he be insinuating? What else could he be insinuating? Oh, look at the number. Shut up, nerd.
Well, he's laid
Shut
out
up, nerd.
he's laid
Well,
out the
spin rate is
numbers.
an actual thing that people see. Spin rate is a thing that coaches see. That like they literally like if your velo's down by 1 mile per hour on consistent pitches, like they come out and check on you. So this isn't like some made up number out of thin air that no one pays attention to. These are things that managers pay attention to, trainers pay attention. If your spin rate's down or your velo's down, even slightly, they will come and check on you to see if you're okay. So
yeah, but
he's
Browner, but Browner, I hear what you're saying, that when you get the adrenaline flowing and you're in the moment, sometimes you can do things above and beyond what your season averages are.
Yes.
And so I hear what you're saying. And Alex, by the same
Trent
token,
Grisham. Did they say he cheated? Because if you got somebody cheated, I'm looking at him.
But I hear what you're saying, Alex, that the numbers are in play. Everybody's following them. I'm not, because I don't care. But I mean, the managers are, and the number geeks are. And so Kinney is laying out his case that for Musgrove, this was beyond superhuman. Like the adrenaline and the moment, all these other things. Yeah, I can buy that maybe his spin rate's up a little bit or his velocity's up a little bit or whatever. But these numbers suggest, right, he's saying these numbers, not this much. There's something else that has to be happening here. So now, wait, there's a second clip?
So now Mad Dog on his High Heat show on MLB Network had Brian on, and this is what happened.
You're going to fight me on this stand right now. You believe Brian Kenny, in your opinion, you believe that just Joe Musgrove cheated last night in Game 3?
The evidence that I'm looking at indicates that he made a huge leap in spin rate.
Don't give me the indicate.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Well,
did he cheat?
Dog, I didn't change with him yesterday. I didn't change with him.
Yes or no?
If you're saying what's the greater leap of faith, the greater leap of faith is to believe he wasn't using any stuff. And when he was asked after the game last night, they said, "Hey, what did they find on you?" He goes, "Oh, what's on your ears?" "Oh, I don't know. They didn't find anything." How about there's nothing on my ears?
So, in other words, you think Joe Musgrove cheated?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I give you credit.
That's it. I give you credit.
Mean, if you're gonna die on that, if you're gonna die on it, you know. So it is what it is. Here is a pictures of Joe Musgrove in 4 terrible starts this year for the San Diego Padres, and you tell me what his ears look like.
4 games. Who's coming up with this stuff now, by the way, where people are taking pictures of his ears and stuff?
Well,
these
these
are
are
people who made the spin rate
against
people
the Dodgers.
Who had nothing else to do.
Against the Dodgers, he gave up 4 earned runs. Terrible. He had a bad game. Against the D-backs, he had a bad game. Against the Marlins, he had a bad game. Against the Rockies, he had a bad game. And his ears are shiny. The man glistens, okay? He's glowing. You ever got a $100 million contract, Brian Kenny? Maybe you'll glow too, sir. He's glowing. Wow. He's glistening.
Brian Kenny, go sit your dumb ass down somewhere.
No, can you play standing up?
Brian Kenny.
Keep standing up and keep talking and keep opening your yap, because this just goes to show that if anything bad happens in New York, they throw fits.
Well,
can you play the coaches, the players, they throw little baby fits because they lost to San Diego. Let's be real. They don't like the fact that their 100-winning team lost to the Padres. Because if this happened to the Dodgers, there's no upheaval. They lost to the Padres, and they're crying about it. Let's be real. Let's not sugarcoat the facts here. The East Coast media is pissed because their favorite team, the Mets, lost to the Padres.
Well, their favorite team is the Yankees.
No, it's really not.
Point being made, though, is that when you lose to the Dodgers, you're like, those are the Dodgers.
It's respectable.
They're great.
Yeah.
When you lose
Cardinals,
to the Padres, right? The Padres are they're just an 89-win upstart team who traveled cross country and they got into Game 3. And when you look at the numbers of what Musgrove has been consistently versus what Musgrove was yesterday, Musgrove was superhuman yesterday. Browner, you said he was locked in. I agree. You said that athletes can do superhuman things when they get locked in. I agree. What Kinney is saying is that no. The numbers tell you he had to be doing something. And moreover, what Alex's point is, and he's right on, is it's because he's a Padre. If Joe Musgrove put up that kind of performance last night for the Dodgers, no one's going to question it. But he's a Padre, and the Padres suck. And the Padres are a second-rate organization compared to the Mets. And the Mets spend more money, and the Mets are from New York, and the Mets just lost this series. And so the evidence says Musgrove cheated.
This is why I hate when numbers get overly involved in professional sports. You might have a statistical run of a guy, but has anyone ever seen Joe Musgrove in that moment before? No. So now if he comes out against the Dodgers and has the same spin rate he had against the Mets, is he still cheating?
Or let's say he comes out against the Dodgers and his spin rate is closer to what it was during the regular season. Then Kinney comes back, because let me tell you something. This is a serious accusation for a guy who works for the league's network.
He's the face of the network, by the way. He's not some random dude.
Right, because Matt Vasgersian was the face of the network. So now that Matty V is not any longer, Brian Kinney is the face of that network. So when imagine if Rich Eisen went on the air and said that Justin Fields passed for 500 yards in a game and he must have been cheating by deflating the footballs. Like, Rich Eisen has a lot of credibility. Brian Kinney does too. And Chris Russo put him on the spot like he was on the witness stand. Yes or no? He says yes.
This isn't me and you calling Chris Bassett a cheater. This is the face of MLB Network, the face of the league's channel.
Stand by. Let's get back.
That's not a small thing, dude.
This is all new. This is all new stuff. Hold on. We'll get right back to it. You need to hear this again. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. We'll get right back to this. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westfield High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Chavez Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season is almost complete. Live on Your View and YourView.com, watch your San Diego Loyal take on Sacramento Republic FC, Saturday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Watch the final regular season game of the 2022 season as the San Diego Loyal prepare for the USL Championship playoffs. Sacramento Republic FC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Hola, I'm JR Cardenas.
And I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
We're the hosts for Su Vida, where we showcase California restaurants, music,
art, culture, and so much more.
We would love to talk to you about featuring your business on our show.
Yes, and as an added bonus, you get to keep the professional video segment to repurpose and use on your website or social media channels.
Please click on the link below to get more information about how to put your business on Su Vida.
We hope to hear from you soon.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on YourView or stream it online at yourview.com. Brought to you by Procopio, San Diego's largest law firm, committed to community, representing San Diegans for more than 75 years. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center, we take care of all various needs of patients for management of their venous insufficiency. People who come here are mainly concerned about symptoms that brings them on or issues related to cosmetic concern that we can always take care of. Now with the advancement of technology and so many catheter-based treatments, we can treat our patients much more quickly, much more comfortably with less downtime. Patients love the result invariably.
It's been a huge impact in my life to feel better, to be able to power walk again. Overall, I'm just feeling like I used to feel when I was a lot younger, and I'm so grateful for this place.
It's a privilege to take care of our patients. It comes from the heart, and I love it.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westfield High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. John's Middle School, Zara Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
The way I would describe myself as a player is I can move around a lot. I'm very, all over the field. Wherever coach needs me, I'm there. I'm kind of just an all-around player. I'm just here to play.
Let's go, baby!
The thing I enjoy most about playing football is just being around the guys. I mean, the energy is just amazing. I just love coming out here and, just giving all my effort and just, we love to win. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned playing football is just, pushing through adversity. There's always obstacles on the field.
What motivates Anthony is the bar he sets for himself. When he accomplishes one thing, he pushes that bar a little higher and gets to that next level. And then when he accomplishes that, he pushes the bar a little higher and gets to that level.
My name is Alejandro Eugenio Guido Perez. I play for the San Diego Loyal, and I'm a midfielder. Midfielder kind of does a little bit of everything. Attacks, defends, it helps organizes the press to win the ball back, and then defend in the low block, and then attack and create opportunities for the forwards to score and yourself. I started at a young age playing soccer. I did it here in Chula Vista, but I also played in Tijuana, Mexico. It's definitely been restorative to be back home and be at a club, such a great club that values the person, not just the player. I've been able to grow tremendously on and off the field and be taken care of by the family that's around me and supporting me.
So Southwestern College, the name of the mariachi is Mariachi Garibaldi, is the performing group that we have. We've actually had as many as 4 different ensembles, so 4 different classes, beginning, intermediate, advanced. And the advanced group is outstanding. We got that associate's degree in music with a mariachi specialization approved in 2004. And that was the first in the world anywhere. It's not a degree in mariachi music, it's a degree in music with a specialization in mariachi.
The ensemble is great. I mean, it ranges anywhere from 30 to 50, sometimes 60 members every semester. It's fantastic.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not 1, but 2 NFL games every Sunday during the season on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
this. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific, every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
A haunted maze? This should be fun. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm texting my family goodbye because we don't know what's going to happen today.
Well, maybe you should tell them.
We're at a place called Field of Screams. That should tell you enough.